Okay, today we'll be doing the SpongeBob challenge number 18. We're doing the left side. Do exactly as I do. Exactly as I do. Okay, we'll be factoring out greatest common factors. Now, to find the greatest common factor is to find out the largest number that can divide into all terms. And we're basically going back to what the problem was before multiplication. Let's say the problem was 5 times 2x squared plus 3x minus 7. When you distribute this, you're going to get 10x squared plus 15x minus 35. Now, to reverse this, to take it back to what it was before multiplication, we ask ourselves, well, what is the greatest common factor for 10, 15, and 35? They can all be divided by 5. So I'll begin the process of dividing by 5. And then the greatest common factor, 5, here we go up front. And then I'll create a parentheses. And this parenthesis will collect all the simplified terms here. So you notice I'm using the greatest common factor here for division and here for multiplication. So when I divide 10 by 5, I'll get 2, and then x squared. 15, positive 15 divided by 5 gives me positive 3 and x. And negative 35 divided by 5 gives me negative 7. And it returns me to the original before multiplication. So that's what we'll be doing. We'll be doing factoring out the greatest common factors in order to find out what the expression was before multiplication. So let's kind of get rid of this. Okay, so I have 12x squared minus 10x minus 4. The greatest number that can be divided into 12, 10, and 4 would be 2. So, I think shall preserve the integrity of the original problem. Yeah, I think I will preserve the integrity of the original problem. So we'll write 12x squared minus 10x minus 4. And the greatest common factor of all these would be 2. So we'll divide them all by 2. Then the greatest common factor, we'll put it here as well with a parenthesis. And then we'll simplify each of these terms here to find out what it used to be before multiplication. So 12x squared divided by 2 will be 6x squared. Negative 10 divided by positive 2 will give us negative 5x. And negative 4 divided by 8, positive 2 will give us negative 2. And this is what it used to be before multiplication. Okay, here. First, we'll preserve the integrity of the original problem by writing it a second time here. Okay, then looking at the 24, the 28, and the 20, the greatest common factor for all of these is 4. I can divide all of these by 4. So let's begin the process of dividing by 4. Next, we have variables. X to the third power, x to the second power, x, and x itself. The greatest common factor for the variables always comes with the least. So the least is your greatest common factor. So the least of all these x's will be x. So we include that as the greatest common factor. So our greatest common factor is 4x. So we'll write 4x here in the parentheses. And then we'll start the process of dividing. 24 divided by 4 is 6. X to the third power divided by x leaves x to the second power. Negative 28 divided by 4 is negative 7. X to the second power divided by x leaves x. Negative 20 divided by 4 is negative 5. And x divided by x cancels to 1. And 1 times negative 5 is still negative 5. And so this is what the problem was originally before multiplication. Number 3, preserving the integrity of the original problem. We write 18x to the fifth power plus 36x to the third plus 27x to the second power. Okay, so we have 18, 36, and 27. Those can all be divided by 3, but the greater common factor I can divide them by is 9. So I can divide each one of those by 9. by 9. Then I have x to the 5th, x to the 3rd, and x to the 2nd. The greatest common of all these will be the x to the 2nd. I'm going to divide every one of these by x to the 2nd as well. Okay. So as a result, we're going to take out the greatest common factor, 9x to the 2nd power, and parentheses here. And 18 divided by 9 leaves 2. 5x, or x to the 5th, divided by x to the 2nd power leaves x to the 3rd. Positive 36 divided by 9 gives us 4. X to the 3rd power divided by x to the 2nd power leaves us with a single x. 27 divided by 9 leaves us with 3. And x squared divided by x squared is 1. And 1 times 3 is still 3. And this is what the problem was before this was distributed. Okay, next, resolving the integrity of the original problem, we'll write 14x to the 6th power minus 35x to the 3rd power plus 7x to the 2nd power. Okay, we have a 14, a 35, and a 7. The greatest common factor for that will be 7. So we'll divide each of these by 7. Okay. For the variables, we have x to the 6th, x to the 3rd, and x to the 2nd power. X to the 2nd power is the greatest common factor for all of these. So I'm going to put x to the 2nd power on each. So let's put 7x to the 2nd power here. Start our parentheses. 14 divided by 7 equals 2. X to the 6th divided by x to the 2nd power leaves x to the 4th power. Negative 35 divided by positive 7 is negative 5. X to the 3rd power divided by x to the 2nd power leaves us a single x. And 7 divided by 7 leaves us with 1. And x to the 2nd power divided by x to the 2nd power also leaves us with 1. And 1 times 1 is 1. If you're ever unsure about your answers, you can use the distributor property here to see if you arrived at the right answer. So a way of checking our factoring is to distribute. 7 times 2 will be 14. X to the 2nd times x to the 4th will be x to the 6th. 7 times negative 5 is negative 35. X to the 2nd times x gives us x to the 3rd. 7 times 1 would be 7. And x to the 2nd power here. And this did give us the original. So our factoring was correct.
Lisa, may I go get a drink?
Okay. Now, looking for greatest common factors where the polynomial leads with a negative. So, first of all, if it leads with a negative right here in front, then your GCF will have a negative. So, preserving the integrity of the original problem, what can be divided into 8 and 10? 2. So I have 2 here and 2 here. But because it leads with a negative, we'll also have a negative on all our GCFs. So it won't be just a 2, but a negative 2. Then for the variables, we have an x to the 3rd and an x here. This x is our greatest common factor. So we'll include the x. So our GCF is a -2 and x, a -2 and x. So -2 and x here. Let's find out what we get. So negative divided by negative is positive. 8 divided by 2 is 4. X to the third divided by x is x to the second. Here, a negative divided by negative is positive. 10 divided by 2 is 5. And x divided by x is 1. And 1 times 5 is 5. Okay. Next, number 6. -24 x to the third power minus 28 x to the second power minus 20x plus 4. Okay. So we have a 24, 28, 20, and a 4. The greatest common factor for all of these would be the number 4. 2 is also a factor, but 4 is the greatest common factor. And because it leads with a negative here, this will be a -4. Now, the greatest common factor for the x's, the last term does not have any x's, so there's no need to include an x for the greatest common factor. So let's go ahead and simplify this. So -4 here. Negative divided by negative is positive. 24 divided by 4 is 6. And x to the third power. Here, negative divided by negative is positive. And 28 divided by 4 is going to be 7. And x squared. Negative divided by negative is positive. 20 divided by 4 is 5. And dx. Positive divided by negative is negative. And 4 divided by 4 is 1. Finish. Yes. Oh, number 7. Yes. Give me about 3 minutes and I'll be able. Just 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
3 minutes. I should be finished.
The seconds.
And it's 17 seconds. So let's repeat the problem here. Preserving the integrity of the original problem. Okay, so this one does lead with a negative, so all our GCFs are going to have negatives. And we have a 15, 10, and 5, and the greatest common factor for those will be 5. So -5, -5, and -5. And for the x, we have x to the fifth, x to the fourth, x to the third. X to the third here is our greatest common factor for the x's. We can find x to the third in all of these. We couldn't find x to the fourth. There's not enough there, so this wouldn't be common. But the x to the third can be found in all 3 of them. So that's the common factor, the greatest common factor. X to the third here, x to the third there, x to the third there. Okay, now it's time to simplify. So we'll put our greatest common factor here, and then we're going to simplify each one of these terms. So a negative divided by negative, that's going to be positive. 15 divided by 5 is 3. X to the fifth power divided by x to the third power will leave x to the second power. Next, we have a positive divided by negative. That's going to give us a negative. 10 divided by 5 is a 2. And the x to the fourth divided by x to the third leaves us with a single x. Here we have a negative divided by negative. That's going to be a positive. 5 divided by 5, that's 1. And x to the third divided by x to the third is also 1. And 1 times 1 will be 1. So that's done. Next, we're going to repeat the problem here. -4x to the fourth power minus 8x to the third power plus 10x to the second power. Okay. And once again, this leads with the negative here. So we're going to divide everything by negative GCFs. And so we have a 4, 8, and a 10. Well, what's the common factor for 4, 8, and 10? The largest would be a 2. So we'll divide everything by -2. Okay, we have an x to the fourth, an x to the third, and an x to the second. The x that's in common is is x to the second. So I'm going to include that with all. Okay. So let's take our GCF, put it here, negative 2 x to the second power. Start our parentheses there, and then start simplifying. Negative divided by negative will be positive. 4 divided by 2 will be 2. X to the 4th power divided by x to the second power leaves x to the second power. Guys, next we have a negative divided by negative, which is positive. 8 divided by 8 divided by 2 is 4. X to the 3rd power divided by x to the second power leaves x to the 1st power. Again, x to the 3rd power divided by x to the 2nd power leaves x to the 1st power. Here we have a positive divided by negative, which is negative. 10 divided by 2 leaves us 5. And x squared divided by x squared gives us 1. 1 times our negative 5 gives us still negative 5. That's our last. Okay.